to do here. I've already installed the Ditra. I used a polymer modified thin set to install this Ditra on the plywood subfloor, and then on top of the Ditra use an unmodified thin set. What I usually use is Ditra set, and I usually use the white Ditra set because that's the one I can get easily. And so you use the back side of the trowel or the flat side of the trowel to fill all the waffles in the Ditra. Make sure they're all full, and then you flip the trowel over and use the notch side of the trowel to make the ridges of thin set on the Ditra. And what I'm using here is a 3/8 inch by 1/4 inch square notch trowel. These are 12 by 12 tiles. And then usually it's a good idea to back butter the tile, the back side of the tile with the flat side of the trowel before you set the tile into the thin set on the Ditra. So anyway, that's usually the procedure for installing tile on Ditra. Flat side of the trowel, fill the waffles, flip it over, use the notch side of the trowel, make your ridges. I usually try and keep them all in one direction, and back butter the back side of the trowel with the back side of the towel with the flat side of the trowel, and then you set your tile into the Ditra. So that's the floor. And then I'm using Boost in this grout so to make the grout stain resistant. Stuff works pretty good. So you spread it with the rubber float there, and then you wash it off with clean cold water. So anyway, now moving on to the wall tile. So this is dense shield on the wall. It was put up for me by the contractor, and I'm going to waterproof it now because we don't want any water getting into the cavity of the wall. So there it is. It's all waterproofed. What the stuff I usually use is Hydroflex, and it's pretty good stuff. And like I said, this is dense shield. So anyway, I started the wall tile over this side, and that's 3 by 6 subway tile. It's installed tile in a dry area. You can use mastic. You don't have to use thin set. So in this area here, I just use mastic. The glass tile, though, the glass mosaic, still needs to be installed with a high polymer content thin set. If you try and install it with mastic, eventually it's just going to fall off. So in this wet area here, in the tub area, I'm using thin set for the wall tile. You can't use mastic in a wet area. So see those little wedges there? Those I'm using those because the bull nose is slightly smaller than the field tile. So what happens is you have to get the wedges in there to make sure that they line up and they stay lined up. The tile doesn't slip too much on mastic, but on the when you're using thin set, the tile just doesn't stay up, so you have to support it. So so I cut in this noble niche. I installed the glass mosaic tile in the back, and then I'm gonna tile this area here, which is all gonna be 4 1/4 tile above the glass border. And I had to transition this tile, so I made an inside corner here so that I could transition the tile over to the tub wall without being on the little narrow side of the wall there. So this bull nose here is actually 3 by 6 with the bull nose on the long side of the tile, and on the rest of the bathroom I'm using 2 by 6 bull nose a cap. So anyway, that's the 4 1/4 tile that's going up all the way to the ceiling. But I usually, because the ceiling is going to be on a diagonal, same 4 1/4 tile, so I usually leave out the top row of the field tile on the walls so that it's easier to make a straight cut. The wall is you leave out the top row of the ceiling, and you cut the ceiling to the wall without the tile, and so you can make a rough cut. And then when you put the last row of tile on the walls, you make a nice neat cut and cover the rough edge of the diagonal cut. It just makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to be that fussy with the diagonals that way. So anyway, that's pretty much all the tile installed and ready to grout. So this is all going to be white grout, unsanded, and I'm going to be using Boost. That you add to the grout, instead of using water to mix it, you use the Boost, and what that does, it makes the grout very stain resistant, mold, mildew, and stain resistant. So it's just better than mixing it with water, and then the grout is susceptible to stains and mildew and mold and stuff like that. Whereas with the Boost, it improves the performance of the grout, and it works pretty good. Thing is that when you do use the Boost, you gotta try and avoid getting the tile, washing the tile and the grout for 10 days. It needs about 10 days to cure. So when you do use the Boost, make sure that you give it a good 10 days so that it can cure and get that all the properties that it needs for it to become stain resistant. So that's basically it. Another bathroom subway tile, 4¼ tile, and 12-inch tile on the floor, and all finished and all done and all grouted. The lady's just going to use a shower curtain in this bathroom. There's not going to be any glass doors, and that's about it. Another one done.